Love MMA and Bare Knuckle fight fans. We've got AJ Adams in the house today. How are you, AJ?
I'm good, Susan. How are you?
I am good. Getting excited for the big fight at BKFC 7, and you're facing Chase Sherman. So let's talk a little bit first about, even though it's close to your training camp being over, how has training camp been for you?
It's been pretty good. It's been one of the better camps I've had year to date. So I'm feeling pretty good about things right now.
Any extra pressure on you since this is a title fight?
On me personally, yes. But as far as like from the promotion or because of who I'm fighting, no. I have my own personal pressure that I'm applying to myself this time around. The reason being, when I was in MMA and I had won my first pro title, I had my first title defense and I lost it. So I came to the conclusion I can't lose these belts on my first title. I really can't lose them at all, but I got to hold these belts for a while. And August 10th is long overdue.
Yeah, good for you. How do you think you match up stylistically with Chase? Because he's had a little bit of bare knuckle experience, but I feel like you might be the more experienced fighter in this regard.
I mean, he had his debut with Shewmaker, but
right.
My style fits well for anybody. Like, I match up well with anybody in this sport. It's hands. It's all hands. And in my MMA career, that's what I was known for, having a good stand-up.
What's the game plan then, without giving away the game plan, so to speak?
My game plan is the same. It doesn't change. Everything you've seen in the first 3 bare knuckle fights is the same thing you're going to see in this fight. Stay cool, calm, and collected, and do what I know works.
Right. Speaking of the past 3 fights, I understand how long it's taken you to get to the title fight here, but can you give our viewers a recap so fans understand what is at stake on this title fight? Because you fought 3 really, I would say, challenging opponents, and you've been victorious, so congratulations.
Thank you. Quick recap. June 2nd, DJ Linderman. My hands ate his face up. Doctor called it after the 2nd round. Joey Beltran, August 20th, I believe it was. Again, my knuckles ate his face up, and the doctor called it in the 4th round. October 20th, Sam Shewmaker. Was a split decision. Mentally, I was worried. I beat myself mentally in that fight because I was worried about the power that he had in both hands, and I didn't want to get caught and end up getting slept like Eric Prindle did. So my game plan did change because I beat myself mentally, but I still pulled it off, split decision. And for some reason, nobody agrees with it. Well, I'm not going to say nobody, but a lot of his fans and some neutral fans feel like he won that fight. I couldn't tell you how. If they had a punch counter or some punch stats, CompuBox or something, they would display, punches landed, punches thrown, and all of that, and they'll see my percentage was higher. I've been sitting since I won the belts in October, just impatiently waiting, open invitations. I called out Bobby Gunn on Twitter and Instagram to see if he responds because he has the world title, but there was no response there. I gave an open invitation. Like, if there's anyone out there that feels they can take these belts from me, reach out to David Feldman or Nate Shook, reach out to the promotion, and let's set it up. But there was no response. So maybe Feldman was handpicking my opponents, so who he feels can really do some damage or take the belts from me.
You mentioned a very interesting aspect, which I've asked other fighters about. I think that part of the sport, and people need to understand this as well, so I'm always grateful when fighters can educate our fans, part of the sport is mental. And I often would like to hear your comment on that, because you mentioned previously that you beat yourself up. So talk to me a little bit about how you're overcoming some of the mental stuff that goes along with what you just mentioned, i.e. beating yourself up and some of the other aspects.
It's kind of hard to explain. I mean, everyone's different. With me and as long as I've been in the combat sports world, I know better. But like this being brand new and the hype they put behind his hands, all of this stuff from the media and everyone reporting on this, if you pay attention to it, it definitely will have an effect on you. That's why I was beating myself. I was so worried about either getting caught with a left hook or overhand right, because I was at the tryout with him, And I saw when he hit those punch meters, and he had like a 1,700 in his right and a 1,500 in his left, or somewhere around there. Like that's a lot of psi there. It's a lot of force. And I saw how he crunched up Eric Prindle. All of that plays a factor in my mind. It played a factor in my mind during that time. All the stuff they said about Beltran and Linderman, the vicious left hook, the solid career they had, none of that really mattered to me. None of that mattered. None of that had an effect on me like Shewmaker and the power he had. But in the 5th round, I was talking to myself as I was coming out of the corner. I just said, you know what, hey, F all of this. You know what, you came to get these belts. Buckle down, do what you do, cover up, and go in for it. Go in for the kill. And it worked. It worked.
It did work. If it's any consolation to you and our viewers, I look at some of my video reporting or some of the other things that I do, and I look at it and I beat myself up too. I think it's just human nature, because when you want to be the best at what you want to be, you can always find flaws in yourself, and it does become a challenge. You look at it and you go, should I have done something better? I'm sure you're looking back at other fights in your life. You mentioned the Sam Shewmaker fight, where you're always thinking, well, what should I have done? So it's a common issue. I wanted people to understand that, because so much of the sport is mental for the fighter. Especially it comes into fact, when you lose, and how do you recover from that? Speaking of fighting, how did you get into combat sports, Arnold?
I wrestled in high school. I loved wrestling. Football, of course, was my first love, but I loved wrestling because the thought that everything I do in the gym determines how I perform when there are lights on me. If I don't put the time and the energy in the gym, come showtime, I'm not going to perform how I need to. And I can't rely on anyone else to get this done for me. This is on me. So after wrestling, JUCO, junior college football for 2 years, and then I got into bouncing at various clubs around Chicago. And after a certain point, I was like, this is when the Ultimate Fighter was just getting started, and that was big. WEC was out, and you had Pride going on. But I was like, you know what? I've been fighting for years. I can do this. I can handle this. And next thing you know, I Googled some gyms around in my area. I found a gym. I went to that gym. I trained for maybe 3-4 months, and I booked my own fight in December 2007. Won unanimous decision, and ever since then, I was like, yep, this is where I need to be.
Good for you. We like to hear that, and that puts in perspective the long journey you've had to get to where you're going.
Yeah,
so I got to ask you, you have an unusual Instagram handle, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this right. Kali Bomaye, right? No, you're going to correct me.
There you go. You carried it out a little bit. But that's it. Cali, I grew up in California, so when I moved to Chicago, everyone was calling me Cali. Like, that was my nickname when I moved there because I was from California. The Boomia, for those who don't know, came from Ali Boomia, the Rumble in the Jungle when he fought George Foreman. The meaning behind Boomia is kill him. So once I found that out, I was like, oh yeah, I need that. That's going to be my nickname from now on. And for the most part, as you can see, I've been kind of true to that name.
Yes, it definitely suits you for sure. Who are your heroes?
Aside from my mom, I really don't have any. I really don't. Like, I really don't have people that I just really look up to. Like, I pick and choose things from certain people because nobody's perfect and everyone has their flaws. So a lot of people that are in the spotlight that are public figures, they tend to have a lot of bad things that follow them and get a lot of negative press. So I don't look up to one person or look at one person as a hero. I just have different people that I pick different things from.
Before we go to Arnold, is there anything else you want to add?
Aside from the shout out to all my sponsors, and there's too many to name right now. Shout out to my coach, Steve, who purchased my Hall of Fame ring. Scott Burt for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. David Feldman for this opportunity to fight for the promotion. Everyone who's been in my corner and been supporting me down this long journey. All the new fans who are supporting me on this journey, I appreciate you, because without you guys cheering me on, I can't fight. If the fans don't want to see me fight, I'm not fighting. I want to thank you for having me on the show to do the interview. And I guess that's really about it right now that I could think of off top.
All right, fight fans. You can catch BKFC 7 Saturday, August 10th. That event is going down at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum. And you can get tickets at www.bareknuckle.tv. And we will be there bringing you some live reports and from the weigh-ins and also from the fight. AJ, I wish you good luck, and I can't wait to see you fight at BKFC 7.
All right, Susan, thank you, and I can't wait to see you at the fights too.